Now, this illustration deals with demand factors in accordance with Article 220, Part 3. Now, notice there are basically 4 loads in a dwelling unit where a demand factor can be applied under certain conditions. The first load listed in the illustration is the general lighting and receptacle load, based upon the 3 VA per square foot per 220.14J. Included also is the 1500 VA for each appliance circuit in accordance with 220.52A and B. So you'd have the 3 VA per square foot plus the 4500 VA rating that we found previously for the small appliance circuits. Now, the cooking equipment is a little bit more in detail, and a particular problem may be presented to you on the test. For example, units rated less than 3.5 kW use column A in table 220.55. Units that are rated 3.5 through 8.75 kW use your column B in table 220.55. Cooking equipment units 9 through 12 kW use your column C in 220.55. Units with greater ratings, then we have to leave the table and use the notes 1, 2, 3, or 4 is applicable. Now we will get into this cooking equipment in great detail so we're not confused. All we're doing here is introducing this cooking equipment as a load that can have a demand applied because you're not using the full load in VA of a piece of cooking equipment all the time. You just use it to heat up to a certain heating temperature, and then you cut it back so that it just heats the cooks the say the food, but it doesn't overcook it. So we know we just don't use the total VA, and that's what this demand is based upon. Now, the dryer equipment also has a demand load that could be applied, and there 4 or less dryers is 100%. But if you're in an apartment complex, for example, and you have a number of dwelling units, then you can go to table 220.54, and based upon the number of units, you can apply a demand factor there based upon this concept. Now, the fixed appliance loads, we would, if you have 4 more fixed appliances present in your dwelling unit, then you can apply a 75% demand as permitted in your 220.53 section. Now, one thing, be sure you understand that the code only lists demand factors, less than 1. If diversity is brought up, your answer for diversity factors is more than 1. For example, 100%, if you have a demand factor, it would be like 90%, 80%, 75%. But for diversity factors, you're greater than 100%, like 1.5, 2.5, and so forth. Now, you would have to obtain diversity factors from the McGraw-Hill Electrical Engineering Handbook or a compatible electrical engineering handbook. So the code, I haven't seen any diversity questions. Demand, yes, you'll have demand loads, and you'll have to figure an individual demand load for the general lighting and small appliance circuits, for individual pieces of a cooking equipment, for the dryer loads, where you maybe have an apartment complex that they might give you a question that will be, and problem that we'll be reviewing, or fixed appliances. So keep in mind now, we are dealing where demand factors can be applied for the service or for a feeder circuit. And we will get into a more detailed information concerning each individual load. And when I say individual load, each one of these 4 loads that you see listed in Figure 1-5, dealing with demand factors in accordance with Article 220, Part 3 of the Code. So we will review each one of these sections and how they would be applicable based upon a particular question based upon such demand factor loads.